Welcome to another InWheelTime podcast. .com. This is the only place to go for all things automotive, in our mind.
Yep.
The award-winning InWheelTime car talk show. Just ahead, we travel to the Texas tea capital of the world.
Whoa.
Midland. Talk with James White at the Petroleum Museum. Later, Jeff has the racing calendar. Morris has This Week in Auto History, and I'll get you caught up on stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, we always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. David Ainsley is going to be joining us. Well, I don't know whether he'd join us on the air, but he's supposed to come over to the house this morning, so we'll see if that happens. Kind of like our guest that we're supposed to have right now. And Mr. Mars is working on that.
Yeah,
he hasn't clocked in.
Making the connection.
He hasn't clocked in yet.
There you go.
All right. You coming on the hot rod tour with us?
Yeah, I got my hotel reservation for Victoria. I'm not sure about the other hotel reservations just yet, but we'll talk about it.
Well, I got my hotel reservation for Thursday night, the kickoff party down there in Victoria.
We'll be there.
That's you didn't go last year to the kickoff.
Not to the kickoff, no.
Boy, that kickoff was great.
I'm telling you.
It was great. I think that you'll really enjoy it.
They're still talking about Mike down there.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I don't know what he did, but
well, I think that he and Barney got to
he
get
made an
together.
impression.
And they're trying to get him out of jail.
Yep.
It took a while.
I don't know.
But great event. And if you have a chance, even if you're not going to go on the tour, the drive down there is lickety-split.
Yeah.
Doesn't take you any time at all. You think of Victoria and you think, oh, that's too far.
Long way.
No, it's not.
It's not, really.
No. And anyway, down there at the town square, they're going to have the symphony back again this year, along with the country band and high school people, and it's a big to-do in town square.
If you look up certain cities in Texas, Victoria is known as the secret of Texas. It's like the best-kept secret of Texas is.
It's a nice little town.
Yeah, that's what the city's motto.
So that's on Thursday, and then we all gather up out at the big park. It has a big parking lot, and that's when we take off and head this way.
Release the hounds.
Yeah, head this way. And I think the stop is Santa Fe, and then we go to NASA. I don't believe I'm going to. I think I'm going to come home on Friday and spend the night here at the house.
Yeah, I think that's why I said hotels and stuff.
Yeah, and then Saturday get up extra early and head up to the Spindletap Brewery, and we're going to do setup up there for the show, and we're going to do this live show from there Saturday from 10 to noon. And we're going to be indoors.
Yep.
I've made that decision.
Yep. I saw your threads of emails on that. Yep.
And then we'll take off again. I'll let somebody else do the teardown, and I'll be on my way.
Yep.
And then we head north up toward Madisonville on Sunday. We spend the night, I think, in the Woodlands.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to do that. And then...
See, that's what we're a little unsure on whether we're going to do that or just come back to the house and then restart the day the next day.
Yeah, I've done the short. I've shortened it, and then at the last minute, I'm going, man, I wish I hadn't shortened it.
Oh, to each his own. Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm going to take it on up there to Madisonville and then come back that afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Really looking forward to it. It'll be interesting to see all of the 350 cars. And there's no way you can put 350 cars in line and keep them all together.
Yeah. And what Bobby and Jeremy did on the website, if you get onto the Hot Rod Tour Texas website, they've actually listed the day's events hour by hour, where you're to be at 8 o'clock. They're starting off this, and then there's a timeline of what you could be doing in that timeline, and this is where we're going to meet. So the whole thing is planned out. He did a really good job of that.
I'll say this, that it is a major undertaking to do this.
But let me interrupt that, because not only is he preparing for that, but every weekend he's got a show going on somewhere.
He's going
this way and that way. And
he does lots of cruise-ins on his own, not necessarily with the Hot Rod Tour bunch, but lots of cruise-ins, especially around the Victoria area.
And we do the cruise-ins here for the time we have, and the folks that we want to promote. We don't get paid for it, obviously, but if you want to find out more, you can get onto the Hot Rod Tour Texas website, or follow Bobby and Jeremy on the Facebooks, and they'll load you up with things every week. They really will.
I don't need to be loaded up any more than I already am.
You were loaded last night, I'm telling you.
Well, the margaritas are pretty potent. Shut up, Mars. You didn't go.
You're right. I didn't.
I behaved.
But you know what? We're having a lunch today, and I can go down the Lupi Tortilla and get you a couple of margaritas to go.
Yeah, that's right. It's my. I
He's already got a.
I got to go to my mom's birthday party today. She is 96 today.
Wow!
96 years
happy
old.
birthday!
Yeah. So
Where is she right now?
She's at home.
Is she preparing? Getting her makeup on. All.
Yeah,
He's
all
got
that
her
good stuff.
Setting up decorations. She's probably cooking and all.
Yeah,
that.
the problem is trying to keep her off the ladder. You know, the hanging decorations.
Not since that last week, actually.
Yeah, it was bad.
I've got some stories here to pass the time.
Mike just told one.
Did he? I guess our guest is not going to make it.
Apparently, he's not. I'm giving one more shot.
Well, there is petroleum involved, so it's kind of a slick Saturday for him. NASCAR is bringing its electrification and sustainability efforts closer to home. Stock car series, known for the thunderous roar from V8 engines, has added a new batch of electric vehicle chargers to its headquarters in Daytona Beach. Well, you know what's next, don't you?
It's shocking.
NASCAR partnered with Florida Power and Light and Swiss industrial group ABB for the project, which included 30 new Level 2 EV chargers, not ones but twos. Chargers are for employee and industry use and will facilitate NASCAR's transition to electric fleet vehicles, according to the press release. Ford and Chevrolet have both since revealed their own EV prototype race vehicles. A Chevrolet Blazer EV SS served as the pace car for the Daytona 500 on February 16th. It was the first EV to pace NASCAR's most famous race. Did you watch it?
I did.
You knew it was going to happen. And there was always that one driver, I'm going to make a place for me, whether you're going to move over and let me in or not, because I'm faster than you. Mm-hmm. Well, he caused like a 34-car pileup.
There was one early and then there was one late.
Yeah.
So everybody settles down. They want to be in it, and then they say, go, 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 and they go.
Yeah. When you know, it's like putting 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag. It just didn't work.
And of course, the whole race time was this person hadn't won it in 20 years. This person's never won it, but the guy that won it won back to back. So go figure that.
Well, you know, the other thing is sorry, Mars, I cut off the wrong microphone. The other thing was with it, they got 12 laps in, and then they had to red flag it because of the rain.
And they did that twice. Yeah.
And it was all day waiting. They even played last year's 500.
But follow up to it all, it was only 10% chance. And by the time race day came, it was 45%, and we're all going to die. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Well, it was a mess, but whatever. It was still. I will say this. If you recall, back in the day, there were no restrictor plates. It was just wide open. And back then, Aero was coming into the whole thing with the Road Runners, the Super Bs, all of that stuff. Well, then they decided they were going too fast. So we're going to put a restrictor plate underneath the carburetor. Well, there's no carburetor anymore. I don't know how they're restricting it, but they're doing something to
jetting,
keep it under 200 miles an hour.
I'm sure.
And the problem there is that everybody's doing the same thing. They got the same kind of engine, the same kind of horsepower, so they all run together, which used to not be the case. Remember, you'd have first place, 2 minutes ahead, and last
Lapping
place,
everybody.
and the last place car has been lapped 100 times.
Yep.
That's no fun.
And they've got other issues with NASCAR now. They've got things about there's I can't remember what they call it, but when you can pay to get a spot as a team. So I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars, NASCAR, but I'm guaranteed a spot in the race, whether you qualify good or not. I can't remember the name.
Then the other thing is that they had the foreigner at the back of the pack driving a car that it's like here's a gimme. The other thing is that I wanted to mention. Did you happen to notice that there is no more back straightaway grandstands anymore? Did you know that?
I did not notice that.
They took them out.
Charter. When you pay for a charter to get in a race is what it is.
They took those grandstands out in the
that.
back, and they completely redid and added seats to the front straightaway. I guess nobody was sitting back there. When I used to go to the circle track race here in Houston, I always sat in the backstretch because the seats back there were cheaper, and you could get real close.
Well, when they opened up the Dallas Motor Speedway for NASCAR, I was at the first race. We sat in turn 2 in the bleachers. Now there's, multi-million-dollar hotels and whatever the case.
The condos down there.
Condos and all that.
Yeah.
But I sat in bleachers on cold, rainy, wet bleachers that first race in Dallas. Kathy and I were there. Yep. They flew us up for the race.
I've been to one race up there, one NASCAR race. And
I used to go to Kansas all the time with Keystone. We would have booths and things like that.
Was it a mile and a half?
Yeah, it's a cookie cutter mile and a half up in Kansas.
Yeah.
That's when I worked for Keystone, and I worked for Jamie McMurray's dad, Jim McMurray. He was my boss, and that's when Jamie was in go-karts.
Any relationship to Fred McMurray?
No, that's probably a distant cousin.
My 3 sons.
But Jim would bring his trailer in his truck to my house, park it in front. He would pay Jason to wash it, and then him and I would go make sales calls in San Antonio. But his sales calls were everything for the go-kart. Nothing to do with what we had to do. So the guys tagged along. It was great. Jim, I think, has since retired. Jamie is now a broadcaster for NASCAR. So I knew him when he was, growing up.
A tyke.
Yeah, little guy. When his first race was the Craftsman Trucks in Daytona. Craftsman Truck Race Daytona. He got in a wreck and all that stuff, so it happens.
Everybody gets in a wreck at Daytona.
He drove for Sterling Marlin when Sterling Marlin had his wreck and had to get out of racing. Jamie took his car and won Daytona.
I'll be.
Yeah. I've got the newspaper articles and all that stuff for it.
And you got to wonder sometimes, whatever happened to those old, very successful race car drivers? Terry Labonte.
Terry Labonte's still around.
Bobby Labonte.
They used to be broadcasting last year.
I know, but is he not racing anything anywhere?
I don't know.
How do you just say, I'm not going to do that anymore?
Well, they don't quit. I think they get involved in more of the safety aspect. They get involved in the marketing. They get involved in different parts of NASCAR.
No, but it's not driving the car.
I know, but you're too old to drive a car at that point. I mean, would you drive a car at your age, NASCAR, doing 200 miles an hour?
Yeah.
I call Barbara Streisand on that.
Barbara Streisand.
BS.
Yeah. Send him the big man.
Yeah, send the big. Do I need a seatbelt?
Do I need a seatbelt? Well, I don't know. It was different. I really hadn't watched the Daytona 500 in a number of years, and I thought, well, I'm going to do that, and I did.
Yeah,
I got other stuff done around the house. Of course,
you kind of piddle around while doing other stuff.
But
yep,
it was interesting, and I'm not too sure about the segment racing.
Yeah, stages. Yeah,
I don't. Why not just run it all the way?
Everybody gets a trophy. That's what it is. Everybody gets a trophy. Oh, I'm going to get a point for this because I finished third. Why don't you try to finish first?
I want it to go all the way, from the start to the finish.
Yeah.
Green flag.
Yeah.
Until there's a wreck.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I don't know. The staging thing doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
You got a 500-mile race, and part of the appeal of that is being able to go the long distance.
Right.
Without stages. Come on in, change the tires, do it. No, you get a free pass? That's not it. No. I say on those big races like that, no, nay. Nay, nay.
Nay, nay, I say. Nay, nay. You eat too much.
Yeah. It just didn't.
Well, to get right into it, we got. You want me to do the racing calendar? It's coming up next segment.
What do you?
Next segment.
What do you?
The racing calendar.
He's reading ahead.
I'm reading
I
ahead.
know. He's when he's ready to move, when he's ready to go somewhere, he is ready to go. You get out of his way. I got to go home. Why? Well, I got stuff to do. What do you got to do? Well, I don't know. I got stuff. Okay.
Oh, I got you.
Just ahead, as you've already previewed, Jeff has the racing calendar. Mars has This Week in Auto History, and I'll have some more news headlines for you. Coming up on the InWheelTime Car Talk Show, we're back in a flash. The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla, he's pretty good. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. Hey, you going on the Hot Rod Tour of Texas with us? Be sure and follow us, the InWheelTime team, as we join over 300 other enthusiasts beginning April 24th as we trek across Texas. Get the info link at InWheelTime.com and our InWheelTime Facebook page. Time now for Jeff's racing calendar, sponsored by the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge.
Thank you for that. Now, we talked about NASCAR. NASCAR is in Atlanta. They're just moving a little bit north out of Daytona to go up to Atlanta Motor Speedway. There's some challenges with weather. It's cold. They're finally putting heaters in the garages and stuff. But that is tomorrow, Atlanta for NASCAR, and then you've got the Xfinity Series is today in Atlanta, and the Craftsman Truck Series is today in Atlanta. They did some testing yesterday and qualifying yesterday for the trucks. I don't know any results, but they should be posted soon. NHRA in March coming up, not very far away, a couple of weeks. We'll be there in Gainesville. Courtney Enders was on last week, and she gave us a good lowdown on that, so it's pretty cool. Saturday, March 15th, the 12 hours of Sebring in the Sebring International Speedway. So that's going to be cool. That's on Peacock. Now, all of these are on different platforms, your Peacocks, your CW channels, your NBCs, and your Foxes. So check your local listings for all that. And then, of course, we got some Demolition Derby and Soapbox Derby coming up in March as well.
It's always a demolition derby here in Houston.
Just get up 610, just look at it and see.
All right. Guess what time it is now? It's time for Mr. Mars this week in auto history.
Dun, dun, dun. Give me a second. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting week. There was a lot of things going on. Like I said, a lot of birthdays. A lot of people died. But 4 stories that we
dying birthdays and dying.
Yeah, 4 stories that I thought were.
Are these death or are these births?
A little bit of both. So this week in automotive history, 2001, February 18, 2001, Dale Earnhardt Sr., a 7-time NASCAR champion, tragically lost his life on the final lap of the Daytona 500, much as we were talking earlier. Driving the number 3 Chevrolet, Earnhardt was blocking for his teammates, Michael Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt Jr., when contact sent his car into the wall on turn number 4. Now, a seemingly minor crash resulted in a fatal skull fracture, and it was a sad event, but his death led to a major safety reforms inside NASCAR, including the mandated Hans device, safer barriers, and improved cockpit restraints. So also,
and they haven't had a death in NASCAR since then.
I don't believe they have.
They've come close.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
Also this week in 1948, February the 21st, Bill France Sr. officially founded the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing in Daytona Beach, Florida. He recognized the need for organizing in stock car racing. He brought together drivers, promoters, and officials and established standardized rules and structured championship series. The first NASCAR sanctioned race was held later that year, and by 1949, the strictly stock series, which is now the Cup Series, debuted. NASCAR grew rapidly, becoming America's premium motorsport, known for its high-speed action and passionate fan engagement. Also, this week, on February the 21st, 1971, the Datsun 240Z of it, 240Z.
Datsun. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. He's from East Texas, you know.
Officially launched in the United States, revolutionizing the affordable sports car market. Designed by Nissan and branded as Datsun. For export, the 240Z combines sleek styling, a 2.4 inline six-cylinder engine, and a competitive price of $35.26, which is what really drew people to it. It offered European performance with Japanese reliability, challenging the more expensive sport cars like the Porsche 911. And with 151 horsepower and the lightweight chassis, it became an instant hit, selling over 160,000 units in the U.S. alone. Mm-hmm. This established Nissan as a major player in the sports car industry and laid the foundation for the legendary Z-car lineage.
Daihatsu.
February the 22nd, 1962. The Shelby Cobra, featuring a Ford V8 and a lightweight AC chassis, secured its first competitive victory, marking the beginning of Carroll Shelby's racing dominance. Now, this was at the Riverside International Raceway. Driver Dave McDonnell secured that Shelby Cobra's first racing victories. It was built on an AC Ace chassis with a Ford 260 V8, lightweight, powerful, and fast. This triumph not only showcased the Cobra's performance, but it signaled the emergence of a formidable competitor in sports car racing as the engines in the Shelby grew to a 289 cubic inch V8 and later the dominating 427 cubic inch V8. And this is Mr. McDonald, who was killed a few years later. That picture struck me, that here he is with the car and crew cut, flat top. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a different era of people in race cars.
I had me a flat top forever till I went to high school.
Wow.
Well, that's what I mean. It was a different era, and it had nothing to do with somebody dropping you on your head.
It's true. Man speaks truth.
You know, he manages to throw these little tidbits in there.
They're great, aren't they?
When I'm really not ready for them. Stellantis is temporarily halting all activity at the Brampton Assembly Plant.
Where's that?
Ontario.
Oh, okay.
Effective immediately as it evaluates its strategy for the next generation Jeep Compass that was slated to be produced there, spokesman said. They said, as we navigate today's dynamic environment, Stellantis continues to reassess its product strategy in North America to ensure it's offering customers a range of vehicles with flexible powertrain options to best meet their needs.
Unless they want a V8.
As a result, the company is temporarily pausing work on the next generation Jeep Compass, including activities at the Brampton Assembly Plant. This does not change our previously announced investment plans for Brampton. In a statement, Canada's Unifor Union called the decision a matter of grave concern.
Oh.
Okay. Continental, not the car, but the company, maker of lots of different things, components for cars. Mm-hmm. Continental's automotive unit plans to cut 3,000 jobs in its research and development unit as the German supplier prepares to spin off the struggling business. The reductions, equating to about 10% of the R&D workforce, will be made by the end of 2026, with fewer than half of them in Germany, according to Continental. The move comes on top of 7,000 job cuts already announced by Continental in a restructuring program that has been in the works for over a year. Continental said it also aims to reduce its R&D ratio to below 10% by 2027. Elon has gone from an electric vehicle evangelist popular among liberal EV buyers to a hero of President Donald Trump's MAGA movement, splitting Tesla's brand image along partisan lines, a new survey says. And Mr. Musk had a 42% favorability rating from gasoline vehicle owners versus 37% unfavorable, the survey said. Pickup owners were top Musk fans at 46%, but EV drivers rated Musk the other way around at just 35% positive and 42% negative. Musk's partisan shift from EV Jesus to MAGA God is hurting Tesla's brand image in top EV markets such as California, according to Mr. Murphy. Musk has more of a MAGA identity now than an electric car identity. He's a nightmare for the Tesla chief marketing officer because he's now in the way.
Who's Judas in all this?
I don't know. And Ford has told its suppliers it will delay the launch of the new Model F-150 pickup, a perennial top seller for the automaker and golden goose for parts makers. Ford was expected to roll out the 15th generation of its traditional gasoline hybrid pickup in 2027. Production for the program, codenamed P736, has been pushed out by at least a year to mid-28 at Dearborn Truck and Kansas City Assemblies. Yeah. Everybody's kind of putting everything on hold.
Yep.
Well, thank you for agreeing
Wait
with me.
and see.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway. All right. We'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@InWheelTime.com. We're back after this quick break. Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. It's time for the 47th Annual Corvette Chevy Expo in Galveston, Saturday and Sunday, March 15th and 16th at the Galveston Island Convention Center. This premier indoor event features iconic Chevrolets, from classic Camaros to America's sports car Corvette. See over 135 displays, automotive vendors, and unique finds at the expansive swap meet. You'll also see the all-handmade Galveston Craft Show, featuring over 100 local artisans. Be part of this Chevy celebration, March 15th and 16th. For tickets, visit CorvetteChevyExpo.com. Well, you know what that sound means. That's it. That's all for this week's InWheelTime Car Talk Show. Be sure and check us out online, InWheelTime.com. Hey, we'd love to see a few pics of your ride. Please include as many details as you'd like. We'll feature it on a future show. Email the skinny to info@InWheelTime.com.
Yep.
When you're looking for award-winning car talk, you can find the InWheelTime Car Talk Show 24/7 on the InWheelTime app. On the road, grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider, including the new SiriusXM podcast channel. And be sure to catch us on the Odyssey Radio app. We video stream our live show every Saturday 10 to noon on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The InWheelTime Video Technical Director, as we always need more Jeff Zekin. For booking agent, video editor, and people finder Mike Out of This World Mars, and Chief Engineer David Ainsley, I'm Don Armstrong. Hot Rod Tour of Texas starts April 24th in Victoria, and we hope you'll join us or at least tune in. Details and links at InWheelTime.com. Be safe out there. Have a great week and weekend, and thanks again for tuning in to InWheelTime. That's it for this podcast episode of the InWheelTime Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.